Hello, and welcome back to another video. So, yes, we are talking about the year Anno Domini 2010. Yes, 2010. That was kind of a pivotal year for gaming for me, because it was really the first year, and two, three. It's one of 3 years I've had in gaming where I've been absolutely spoiled for choice, where everything was really working in my favour. The other two were 2011, 2012. So during that period of time, basically every game coming out, I wanted it. I wanted it really badly. You may just be able to see sort of here-ish, I have ripped through the Xbox 360 section just to bring out a whole bunch of games that I was so excited for at this time. So at the time, I was reading an awful lot of what was called, of a magazine called 360 Gamer, which was originally Xbox Gamer, and getting really hyped for a lot of shit that was coming out in pretty quick succession. And admittedly, we started the year crazy strong with Bayonetta 1. Now, I didn't know, I had played a little bit of Devil May Cry 4 by this point, and I thought it was okay. I thought it wasn't amazing. I think that came out in 2009. I could be horribly wrong. 2008? Something in that time period. But I played a little bit of Devil May Cry 4, and I was like, oh yeah, this is okay. And then I saw a witch in stilettos with guns on her feet beating up giant angels. And my brain went, okay. Okay. So yeah, I bought this day one. I bought Bayonetta 1 day one, and I cleaved my way through it in about 3 days. It was fucking awesome. It was really cool. And I haven't actually played through Bayonetta 1. I didn't actually play through Bayonetta 1 again for a very, very long time. It actually took me until I bought the Switch version for me to finally go, hey, I'm going to play through this game again. After playing through 3 and after playing through 2. So I thought, hey, we'll get the first one again and we'll play through that. And it was sick. And it was sick. It really was the beginning of a time of just real excitement throughout that year. Basically every month there was a game I wanted, and some of them were shit. We'll get to those. We'll get to those in a minute, but the vast majority were really good. I did also pick up Darksiders 1 during this time. I've since got rid of it, though my wife is quite a big fan of that series, judging by the fact she has War's Sword. But yeah, for me, I had that and Bayonetta. And bearing in mind the first Darksiders game is very, very, very much, it is very, very much a Zelda clone. It's a Zelda clone, much the same way the second one was a Skyrim clone and the third one was a Dark Souls clone, which is why I didn't like the third one. Never mind. But playing that first game, it was really good. It was really, really good. And I did find myself enjoying it. It's just, I preferred Bayonetta 1. Bayonetta 1 was just poetry in motion. It was only really with 2 that they went, hey, we've made it better. And it was better. You were fighting demons, you were doing this, you were doing that. But Bayonetta 1 holds such a soft spot in my heart for being one of the first major games I just really fell in love with. Like, I absolutely fell in love with this one. But it wasn't the only game that came out this year. There were a lot of them. It wasn't even the only Platinum game that came out this year, because it was only topped by Vanquish. So Vanquish is a third-person shooter where you have rockets attached to your ass, and it fires you around like crazy across the battlefield as you kill shitloads of Russian robots, which is cool as balls. And they've never made a sequel. They've never made a sequel to Vanquish. I guess it just didn't sell as well, which is a pity because it's amazing to the point where this is my original copy of Vanquish from 2010, but I will freely admit this. I stole this lenticular case. Look at him go. I stole a lenticular case from CEX a few years ago, actually. They had that, and then 2 more lenticular cases that are actually here that I did also steal from that the exact same CEX, the exact same day. So, oopsie. Well, I peeled the sticker off, stuck it back on the case, and then just piled these 3 back into my bag. Vanquish is such a stellar game. I would absolutely murder to see that game again coming out. I think it'd be really, really cool. I did mention there were some games that weren't exactly great. Yes. Unfortunately, Dark Void was a game I was extremely excited about. So this is a third-person shooter where you float around with a jetpack, and yes, this is another case that I stole from that CEX. And to be perfectly honest, I thought it was great. I really, really did. I think the gameplay was really solid. It tapped into that sort of 1950s B-movie feel of flying around with the fucking jetpack. It really fulfilled images of the Rocketeer in my brain, which was sick. It's just, you can clearly tell 2/3 of the game were cut out because they took all the budget from that and shoved it into Lost Planet. But we'll get on to that one in a minute. Here's the kicker. I bought this full release. I bought this for 30 fucking quid. 30 quid. 1 week later, I go into a shop, 15. And I was like, fuck. Should have learnt a lesson there to start saving money when it comes to these games. I did learn a little bit down the line. So sort of later on that year, I bought Tron Evolution. Tron Evolution. Which has a nice thick manual. Forgot about that. Which had a really active multiplayer mode, to be fair. Had full online component that a lot of people did play. I was friends with a guy who was top of the leaderboards of this and top of the leaderboards of another game I'll get into in a minute. Who was a bit of a twat. God, he was a twat. He would just drop into our Xbox Live party sessions all the time and be like, "Oh, it's me. How you doing? Oh, Domovo." He was a fucking weirdo. And eventually we just all ganged up on him and kicked him out because it was like, we were 18 and 16 in some cases, some of my friends. I was 17. And this guy would just drop in. He was like in his 30s. It was really weird. So, eventually we were like, look, just fuck off, go away. And he did, which is nice. But yeah, I can't play this game anymore without thinking of that absolute knobhead. Which was a strange time in 2010 where Xbox Live parties were this massive thing. You'd have a bunch of friends who you're just chatting to all the time. I think last year I bought Xbox 360 Gold was 2013. That was last year I bought it. Because after that I was in university and I just sort of moved on. But those 3 years for games were just so cool. And 2010 was really the start of it. 2009 sort of, I dipped in here and there with my friends sort of towards the end of that year. But 2010 was the major one. So whilst I wasn't playing multiplayer in Tron Legacy with my friends, or I would be playing Dark Void or Vanquish or Bayonetta whilst on the chat with them, I was also playing Aliens vs. Predator 3 by Thigger and Rebellion. And in the nicest way I could put this, I'm not entirely sure how Rebellion are still in business, considering the crap they have put out over the last nearly 30 plus years of their existence. But this was one of them. Admittedly, they did release Atomfall this year in 2025, which was quite an impressive game, from what I hear. I have it. I haven't played it. Much like Split Fiction, I have it, but I haven't played it yet. And they both came out much, much earlier in 2025 than the time of this video filming. But yeah, what do I think of this game? The Alien campaign's okay. The Predator campaign is okay, and the human one is the longest, and it's shit. It is shit. It's not very good. Which was a pity because I like Tron Evolution. I like Dark Void. AVP I'm not a big fan of. It's okay. Admittedly, I did also buy and complete Aliens Colonial Marines several years later. Not at launch. No. I bought that for £5 in 2014 instead. and beat the thing in a year, and beat the thing in like 2 days. But Aliens vs Predator is probably the worst game in this pile. I mean, by a good margin, by a very good margin. But the gear was so full of games, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I mean, there was one point where I was bouncing between 3 separate games going, do I buy this month? Do I buy this month? Do I buy this month? This I've been waiting for 6 months for. This is a sequel to a game I really, really like. This is a fucking strategy game, which I'm always on board for. And those 3 were Crackdown 2, Lost Planet 2, Supreme Commander 2. I remember standing in the game in my hometown, looking at all 3 going, I've only got enough money to buy 1 of these. Or was it 2? I think it was 2. I had enough money to buy 2 of them. And I was there like, 1 has to go. Lost Planet is a given. Like, Lost Planet 2, I downloaded the demo 6 months prior. Right? 6 months prior. And my friends and I played the shit out of that demo. The ever-loving shit out of it. And we were like, oh my god, this game is going to be amazing. And it was. It was. I'm not joking. I absolutely adore Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 1 is fine. It's okay. I bought it in 2007. I played a bit of it, and I thought it was shit. Time hasn't really fixed that opinion, to be honest. And if there's one series I wish Capcom would bring back, and more importantly, just give me a sequel to 2. Not 3. 3 was just Dead Space. 2 was awesome. Big mechs, big guns, 4-player co-op multiplayer. You were shooting sandworms with a World War II rail cannon, and you were ejecting yourself through the atmosphere to fight a bunch of other big fucking worms that you then shot with that same fucking cannon and a giant laser cannon. It was so cool. It was just it really played into that teenage primal boyish brain that I, to be honest, still have. I still have it. That brain is still there, and it's still like, man, that is sick. When something big, cool, and explosive happens, which is the entirety of Lost Planet 2. There's only one section I just legitimately don't like, and that is the second one with Neo Nevik. I think it's the second one with the second episode with Neo Nevik. I don't care for, because it's not as good. It's not as fun. It just doesn't have the same oomph to it as some of the others. There's somewhere like the end of the game literally involves you fighting this massive mountain-sized alien insect thing made of goop. And you bring an orbital cannon down. Instead of firing from orbit, you fire it from about 20 feet ahead of you. Above your head. You fire it at point-blank range to kill this thing. And it's fucking cool. And doing that with 4 players is awesome as well. Especially when one of them's running around dressed as a data post. That can just... They crouch and they turn into a data post that you can then sort of activate. It's really weird. Multiplayer was good. It was mostly a 4-player co-op game above everything else. Its multiplayer was okay, but 4-player online co-op for Lost Planet 2... Fuck, man. Fuck, man. If there's one thing I would ever love to do, it would be to grab... I've got 2 Xbox 360s already. It would be to grab another 2 and system link a 4-player game of this. Fuck. It would be amazing. It would be so good. Now, which of these other 2 games did I go for? I went for Crackdown 2. Because I was like, I got one 4-player multiplayer game that I'm going to play with my friends. I want another one. And we did. We played the shit out of Lost Planet 2. Running around that same map from the first game, but with zombies, was okay. Look, in terms of my favourite game in the series, it's the first one. The first Crackdown is the best Crackdown. 3 was... You know, I have it. I haven't actually played it. I've never played Crackdown 3. That's a bit odd. I should play that game. That means I have to get the Xbox One out. Fine, I'll get the Xbox One out and I'll play Crackdown 3. But Crackdown 2 is probably the best multiplayer. Probably the best co-op multiplayer we had. Running around the entire map, 4-player co-op, doing different missions all at the same time, was cool. Being an overpowered super soldier was cool. I like these games. That's the thing. I do like Crackdown as a series. Playing as a Ubermensch super cop is sick. But I think the first game just had better progression. Like, taking out each of the different gangs, you could tackle it in literally any way possible. Zombies is just zombies. They're just zombies. It's nothing more than that. Taking out a hive is no different to taking out another hive. They're all the same. Whilst taking out the different crime bosses and different layers is different. And you picked apart in the original game. It's just Crackdown 2 had 4-player multiplayer, so naturally that was the one we played. And it was fun, but it's the same where every game is kind of fun. Lost Planet 2 just still blows my mind. Fucking love that game. That left us with the last one of the twos. Not the last one, but one of the last ones. Spring Commander 2. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this one is better than the first one. Strictly because I've played the first one. The first one's really good in terms of technical complexity. It's all wonderful and it's all great and blah, blah, blah. But bearing in mind, I had 2 friend groups, right? I had 2 friend groups. So I had one group of friends who were slightly more subdued, but lived further away. And then I had another group of friends who were more local, quite loud, pretty cool. They were all really cool guys. I'm still friends with one. But yes, I moved down to where one of them was, and then I went, he lives in the area. Oh, so we reconnected, and then he came to my wedding, which was lovely. But yes, and I met his partner. He's a really nice guy. If you're watching, you know who you are. But yeah, Spring Commander 2. This was a game more suited to that particular other group with my friend who I very connected with. We would just basically play strategy games. So we played, what did we play? Command & Conquer Kane's Wrath, Red Alert 3, Spring Commander 2 we played quite a lot of, Universe at War. Very rarely would we play End War. I think they all had End War. And I think very rarely we will play Civilization Revolution, which was a good game. But this was one of the principal ones, and it was always me and another guy versus the other 2. So it was 2 teams of 2. And this other guy would always boast, oh, I've got amazing defences. I've got amazing defences in RTS games. I only play defensively. That's it. Blah, 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 blah. And he only ever played defensively. And we always insisted he played defensively because he was always going on about, oh, I've got amazing defences in RTS games. I'm so good at it. And then inevitably, we would get around those defences and he would just get pissed off. Every single time. Every single time. I mean, hell, we did take it in turns. And in retrospect, maybe we were a bit like, oh, you know, you're going to play defensively. And he's like, I don't want to. But it was fun sort of bashing our heads against his walls of turrets. And then he would swoop in with a massive army and wipe us out. Wipe out me 90% of the time. One of my friends, though, while we were playing this, the defensive guy would get super pissed off that we'd use the man cannons from the UEF. So the UEF are sort of Humanity, United Earth Federation, blah, blah, blah. One of us would build a man cannon, load it with units, and fire it behind his turrets. And it pissed him off every single time, to the point where every time we got to a point where he refused to play this with us if we were playing as UEF. I had to play Illuminate every time, and I don't mind that because Illuminate have a really good end game. Whilst my friend would play Cybran, he would play UEF, so he could use the fucking man cannon. And build just an endless wall of turrets in ludicrous defensive positions that he'd then get pissed off when we took out his energy generators that killed his entire grid network and made all his defences useless. It was just, yeah, it was stupid. But it was fun, and that's something we just played. I'll tell you one other story while I'm here. I don't think Red Alert 3 came out in 2010. I think that came out in 2000. It did. It came out in 2009. But when I play Red Alert 3, even today, I only ever play Empire of the Rising Sun because I like the idea of a transforming Japanese army. It's sick. You know, they have warriors and shoguns and they got ninjas and they've got giant only heads that can turn into boats. But I was always banned from using something called the Shogun Battleship, which is a naval unit that has such a ridiculous range that the defensive guy, I'd wipe out his turrets without even getting anywhere near. I'd wipe out his power generation without getting anywhere near his turrets, and it pissed him off so much because he never built in the water where these things would come from. So, being a gentleman, I would go, okay, fine, I won't use them. My friend will, who's the one I reconnected with, he will not use Kirovs. So Kirovs were these massive, fucking slow, super tanky blimps that just bombed everything beneath them. And inevitably, every fucking game, you'd hear da 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 da. You'd hear Call of the fucking Valkyries over the mic as this parade of bloody blimps came flying out of his back, and I knew he would do it every fucking time, and inevitably the guy would get pissed off, and it's like, well, you know, it just, we were teenagers, it was stupid, but it was fun. That was the point. Now, we'll get to the two games I was probably looking forward to the most that year. Not the Vanquish wasn't one of them, but here's a game I didn't think I would pick up, but I did. Metro 2033. Now, this is the original version where it's a lot more janky. So they did a weird thing when they re-released Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light as the... Do I have it just within easy reach? I do. Metro Redux for the PS4 and Xbox One, and now the Switch, which is a bit mad. For Metro Redux, Metro Redux has basically they went, right, the Last Light gameplay, Metro Last Light, we're going to take that gameplay and we're going to put it into Metro 2033 and we're going to build it from the ground up. That's not the version I played. I played the original janky version that plays more like Stalker. It plays a lot like Stalker, and I really liked it. I wasn't expecting to. Nowadays, I can't go back and play this version. I just can't play it. But I did play this a lot. I did play the original version a lot, and it's really, really good. It's why I kind of like going back and playing the Redux version, because Redux has that same mission structure. It's got the same AI. It's got the same atmosphere. It's all really cool. Doesn't have the same gameplay, which does make it more approachable nowadays, but the original was just so good. I think I bought this off a friend. Yeah, because it's sticky around the base, so I would have bought it out of, like, CX. What was CX at the time? I think I bought it off a friend of mine. Or this is an older copy. No, I gave it to him. I gave him my original copy because I was like, you can have it for Christmas. You can have my old copy for Christmas. Fuck it. But I picked up this new version just because I really like the game so much. There are a couple of other games I picked up later in the month. So, sort of that Christmas time, I had some money, which was nice. There were no games coming out. I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll go into town, I'll pick up some stuff. So, I picked up a PS2, a whole bunch of games for it, and Killer 7. I picked up Killer 7 for the PS2. I picked up Deadly Premonition, which I do have, and I left it down there, and I have played that game quite a lot, and it's fucking terrible, but it's also hilarious. The other game I picked up was Enslaved Odyssey to the West, which I fucking love this game. I do. It's linear as all hell. It's DLC you just can't really play anymore, but you can't really play anymore, but yeah, I did actually get rid of this, because I had it on PS3, and I think my original copy broke, so I was like, fuck it, I don't need it again. But here we are. It's a really solid story. There are a couple of weird moments, like Monkey handing over the headset to Trip again, and going, oh no, it's fine that you can keep this fucking slave headband attached to my head, that's perfectly fine. But, yeah. I mean, you've got Andy Serkis in there, which is pretty cool. You've got the writer of The Beach and 28 Days Later, and music by Nitin Sawhney. It's a good game. It's Ninja Theory at their best, shortly coming off of making Heavenly Sword, which I do have here. Making Heavenly Sword. They made this, and then I think they made Enslaved. And to be honest, Enslaved is still good. It's got this really solid art style that I just really appreciate. It's got gorgeous. It's probably one of my absolute favourite covers of the time. It's just absolutely stunning. I think it's because you get to see New York completely overcome with foliage. It's not like your average post-apocalypse where it's like, blah, blah, blah. And you get to the ending, and it turns out, like, the main antagonist, the guy controlling all these robots to plug humans into the machine, he's trying to recreate the Matrix. So he's recreated this. He's created this world where basically a bunch of humans just plugged into these headsets that all connect to him as the central processor, and they all live out memories, or they all live lives based on a world created from his memories. And Andy Serkis plays that guy as well as Monkey, and it's really cool. And Monkey's in this headset thing, and then the ending sort of ends on, was this the right decision? Was taking people out of the Matrix the right decision? Unlike the Matrix, where it's like, oh, we're all going to go live in slop and eat crap and go to the orgy cave, and that's it. Here's a world that isn't dead. Here's a world that is very much alive. It has the capacity to be rebuilt, and you've got a bunch of people who would be familiar with the technology, because Trip is familiar with the technology. And yeah, you know, you've got a bunch of people who've been living in the memories of a guy from like 200 years prior, at the time where this technology would have been super prevalent. And clearly the guy knows his tech. So that would be transferred to humanity. They could build themselves back up again. There is possibility, unlike the Matrix. But again, it's a case of you've stripped these people away from what they thought were their lives and dumped them into a situation where they don't know what the fuck is going on. Now, bearing in mind, humans do still exist. They are still stuck in these. They can and will be stuck into these pods as the game goes on. But yeah, I don't know. I like this game. It's based off of Odyssey to the West with, you know, Sun Wukong. If you play Black Sun Wukong, it's sort of the same vibe. Although this is slightly brighter in colour and just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. Really, I could gush about Enslaved all day, but I'm not going to. What other games did I pick up in 2010? Probably the best year in gaming I've had. Along with 2011, 2012. Those are, period, the best games. The best years in gaming I've had. A game I was really desperate for, absolutely obsessed with, was Death Smiles. Now, we'd had the release of this in America. They had their version. This came with an original soundtrack, desktop accessories on the disc, which is fucking hilarious, and the game itself with a bunch of additional bits and bobs and features and all sorts of gubbins. I think it has a poster as well. But yeah, I really fell in love with the aesthetic of this game. I love that sort of gothic style, and playing as basically a magical girl, like Sailor Moon, but a Victorian style magical girl, is pretty sick. There's some horrendous stuff in a lot of these girls' backstories, but it's a really solid game. It comes with like an exclusive, comes with the Mega Black Label DLC. Has a bunch of really cool stuff on it. It's just such a neat addition. And I was obsessed. I was like, why isn't this game coming out? When's this game coming out? Am I going to have to import it? Am I going to have to get a modded original Xbox 360 just to play this fucking thing? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It came out, which is cool. The sequel did come out in America, but only on Xbox Live Arcade. It was digital only, as was the original Crysis, which was kind of mad. But yeah, so I had original Crysis and I had Death Smiles, and yeah, I never got Death Smiles 2 until they re-released it again for the Switch, where I played it. It's not as good. Plus, there's some creepy stuff in it that isn't here. You'd think it would be here. I mean, Japan and creepy stuff, especially with girls, go hand in hand, but there isn't any in the original game. which is nice. It's just you're going on this journey to take out this evil magic prick and Tyranno Satan. Yeah, Tyranno Satan. You're going to go fight Tyranno Satan, and you beat Tyranno Satan. It's all great, and you've done your job, and you get a happy ending, which is cool. And you get a happy ending sort of regardless of. You can choose to go back to the human realm, but if you do, it's not always the best. Blah blah blah. But yeah, solid game. I like the fact that there was a second one. The second one is just not as good, by any stretch of the imagination. Not as good. Kind of creepy. I'm just glad the first one wasn't. The final two games that I was the most excited for in 2010, 15 years ago today, I was going, hey, Halo Reach is out. Yeah, I know. So, Halo Reach, for a lot of people, not necessarily me, this has it has a 2-day gold membership. Where you could get Facebook and Twitter and Sky. Yeah, back before Xbox went down the toilet and went, hey guys, we heard you like TV. We heard you like TV. TV. And that's all the Xbox One announcement was. Halo Reach came out. Yes, objectively the last good Halo game. I have my own quibbles with Reach that have only really They've only really exacerbated as time's gone on. I've really not been as big a fan of Reach long-lasting as I thought it was. At the time, holy shit. I still maintain Reach has the best multiplayer out of basically any Halo game. It does. It's got one of the best. Like, the sheer amount of time I invested into custom games was insane. The fact that Infinite... Here's the thing. I hate Halo Infinite with a passion. I think it has the worst campaign out of any Halo game, and I include 5 in that. At least 5 had consistent level design. Halo Infinite is just boring. Like, I can't remember a single level outside of the tower and the Ghost of Gabricon. That's it. The first level and a level towards the end. That's all I remember. Everything else blends. But its multiplayer, especially with Forge, was amazing. It was really, really good. And the fact you could play it for free is also really, really cool. But Reach really reminded me so much of those days playing Reach's multiplayer. Playing those custom games, especially when you fuck around with the physics engine and you build this slope like this. Absolute sheer slope. Teleporter at the end. Teleporter at the start. Bunch of team up here and a bunch of team down here. Team down here have to avoid oncoming traffic. Basically, you've got warthogs speeding down, and because they are on a slope like this, like an absolute it's almost vertical, going down, they get faster and faster and faster as they go, to the point where they just start lifting off the floor and start falling like this, and you have to avoid it. It's so fucking good. So seeing that again in Halo Infinite was such a treat. I might boot up maybe I will boot up the Xbox One, suffer through that. Just to play that multiplayer mode again, because I loved Reach's multiplayer. I did. It was exceptional. Its firefight was perfect. It had so much more added to it. It was really, really cool. Shitloads of maps, new multiplayer modes, a single-player campaign. It had space travel, or space flight, space combat, which gimmick, big-time gimmick, not fun. It's not as fun. It really, really isn't. It's just fucking shit. It's shit. But one of my favourite Halo levels of all time in the form of Exodus. I think Exodus is probably the pinnacle of Halo level design storytelling. I know a lot of people go, oh my god, it's fucking 343 Guilty Spark, get on board. But from the first game. But not with this. Not with this. Just that absolute desperation of humanity trying to escape the Covenant. You don't get that. And then you sort of get New Alexandria and the aftermath of that, which is just shit by comparison. But Reach was such a stellar game for its time. It's just a shame it's certain issues I have with it, like the redesign of the Covenant, really fed into that whole problem that Bungie had with Destiny and enemy design. They just look like shit. That was only compounded in Halo 4 with the Prometheans, and then made worse in Halo 4, Halo 5. Then Halo Infinite tried to retcon it, and we to go, oh yeah, but you know, all of the level design is the same. It's just Jesus fucking Christ. One final game. And I said there were 2 games I was really looking forward to this year. One was Halo Reach. The other was Bioshock Infinite. Oh, sorry, Bioshock 2. Bioshock 2. The previous year, October, right? October. I'm all geared up. I've got Brutal Legend. Yeah? I'm in the throes of depression. I am in a really, really freaking bad place. And I go, right, Brutal Legend's out. It's great. It's amazing. Oh my god, Bioshock 2 at the end of the month. Delayed for 6 months until February. Well, 4 months. 4 or 5 months. 4 or 5 months until February. And I was devastated. I was like, fuck! Really? You know, it was worth the wait. Basically, they were adding a bunch of additional content for the Something in the Sea ARG game that they were running at the time. To promote this, they were polishing some stuff up. It had a really solid multiplayer mode. I bought the DLC. I bought the Protector Trials. I bought Minerva's Den. Minerva's Den is my single favourite bit of DLC content that isn't Mass Effect 3 Citadel. Mass Effect 3 Citadel is just the combination of everything Mass Effect, and it is perfect in every conceivable way. Minerva's Den is one of the best single slice moments of DLC I have ever played. And bearing in mind, I've played DLC for a lot of these games. I've played DLC for Reach. I've played DLC for Metro Last Light. I've played DLC for The Darkness. I've played, well, Darkness 2 specifically. I've played DLC for Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3. You know, so much shit during that time. I played so much DLC. Hell, Enslaved Odyssey to the West's DLC was really good. To the point where I am half tempted to boot the fucking console up. Boot the Xbox One up again and put this motherfucker in. But 2's Minerva's Den is just such a perfect encapsulation of excellent storytelling. What made Bioshock work so well, specifically like the twist reveal. The twist reveal is better than the base game. It's mad, but the base game's got a really good story, and in a lot of ways, I think it wraps up better than 1 did. Now, 1 has a fantastic build-up to the point where you cave Andrew Ryan's head in with a golf club. It's after that it spirals into shit, because Fontaine is not an interesting villain. Atlas is. Atlas is a very interesting villain. Fontaine is not. He is boring. And his whole motivation is, hey kid, I played you for a fool. It's like, okay, what was your plan? To become the Adonis statue from the beginning of the game. Right, okay. Or the Atlas statue. Yes, that one. I look like a statue. And that's it. I have energy now. Blah. It's crap. 2 at least ends on a bit of a poignant note where the ending you choose is based on your influence on Eleanor, who is your daughter figure throughout the game, and it just works. It just works really well. But yeah, 2010, man. 2010. Good year. This is a long video. This is a very long video. It's longer than I've done in ages, but such a fucking good year for games. Like, honestly. I may do another one of these. I may talk about 2011. That was a really good year. That was a really good year for games, and so was 2012. 2012 was fantastic as well. We got Mass Effect 3. Oh my god. I forgot Mass Effect 2. Yes, I fucking did. That's insane. It's literally jutting out right there. I can see it. Mass Effect 2. I love Mass Effect 2. I played that game 3 times in 1 week. I put 75 hours into beating Mass Effect 2 3 times in 1 week. That's how fucking good it was. Nowadays, I find it a little bit harder to play, if strictly because you can't really play Vanguard very well, even on easy. It's quite a brutal game in that respect, but yeah, man, Mass Effect 2, good, really good. Anyway, can't believe I forgot Mass Effect 2. Crazy. It's because I think of those 3 games as just one now, because I just play I played the Legendary Edition. But yeah, Mass Effect 2, solid game, really good. There you go. There's good DLC. especially Shadow Broker. That's a really good DLC. But yes, anyway, that is me done for another week, and I will see you next time.